Hey guys, welcome back to Programming Knowledge Hub. I'm Vishal. In this lecture, I'm going to talk about the string data type in C#. A string is not an primitive data type like integer, character, float, double, etc. Instead, it is an object type data type of the string class. We can assign any text value to the variable of the string data type using the double quotes. That value is considered as the collection of read-only characters. We can also assign null and empty value to the variable of string data type. The string with the small s is an alias for the string class with the capital S. So instead of string with the capital S, we can use the string with the small s. Now let's switch to Visual Studio and let's see how we can declare and initialize strings. So here I'll declare one string variable called message. String message. Here I have just declared the string variable. I have not initialized it. Now let's initialize the variable. Message equals hello. So on the first line we declare the string variable called message, and on the second line we initialized its value to the hello word. Let's print the value of the message using control.writeLine. Let's save the program and run using Control and F5. Perfect, it printed the hello word on the console. Now let's do the declaration and initialization on the same line. So let me delete this line. String equals hello. Let's save the program and run again. Perfect, we got the same results. Now as I said, we can also assign the empty and the null value to the string variable. So let me delete this and just remove the value and see. So currently there is no value in the string variable. The compiler is giving us the compile time error. The local variable string might not be initialized before accessing. So that means currently this string is empty. It does not contain any value, but we are trying to access it. So let's assign the empty value to the string. Now there are two ways to assign the empty values. Either you can use a letter like this, saying that the string variable contains the empty value, or the compile time error is gone. Let's run the program and see. Yeah, we cannot see any thing printed on the console because the string is empty. Another and the recommended way is using the string constant called string.empty. So this is same as the assigning the empty double quotes, but this is the most perfect and the recommended approach. Let's run the program. Again, we will not get anything printed on the console because it does not contain any value. Now instead of empty value, let's assign the null value. So using the null word, we are assigning the null value to the string. Let's run the program again. So there is no value printed on the console again because we are assigning the null value to the string variable. Now one question may come into your mind: what is the difference between the empty string and the null string? Actually there is a difference. When we calculate the length of the empty string, we would get 0 value, and when we calculate the length of the null string, we would get an exception. Let's see how. See, the string class provides an important property called length. So using the length, we can find out the number of characters in that particular string. So let me assign the empty value to this string using the string.empty, and let me calculate its length using the length property. Let's save the program and run. So as you can see, we got the 0 value because the string is empty. It does not contain any text. So the value, that means so the length is 0. Now let's change it to null. We assign null value to the string variable and let's run it again. Here we got an exception, unhandled exception, system.null reference exception. Then the description is object reference not set to an instance of object. So as you can understand, the null value and the empty value is totally different. In the empty value, we would get the length as 0 using the length property, but in case of null value we would get an exception. Another important thing you should know about the strings that they are immutable data type. That means once the object of string data type is created and the value has been assigned, then that value cannot be modified later in the program. Opposite of that is mutable. That means once the object has been created and the value has been assigned, still we can modify that value later in the program. Let's understand the immutability of the string with the help of an example. Here I have written a simple program which concatenates the two strings and print the value on the console. Let's understand what is happening in the backend. The compiler creates these two variables called message and the message1 along with their values. At the third statement, when the compiler encounters this plus equals to operator, it does not modify the contents of this existing string. Instead, it creates the new string reference that contains the combined result and assign that reference to the string variable. The old reference of this variable is released for the garbage collection, as there is no variable currently holding to that reference, and using the console.writeLine statement, the value of this message variable is printed on the console. Let's run this program and see the value. See, we got the value hello world. So this is how the strings are immutable and works in the backend. Thank you for watching the video. In the next lecture, we will see some of the useful operations that we can perform on a string variable.